All right, what up, people? It's your boy Chig from Goon the Eagle Eye. Hold on, coming to you again with a brand new video. This is early afternoon with Chig. Obviously, working from home has its perks. It means I can do these videos a little bit early during my lunch break, and yeah, it also coincides with some breaking news. So I figure let's lead with that. Um, and big up to everybody that is about to, I'm sure, come into the chat room. Please, as you know, it's always important when you guys do this. Slap a like on this video, my like squad. So the time I need you to get active. So just slap a like on this video. It's always important when you guys do that. Helps the show get noticed. And that's your way of contributing to the show. So please do slap a like on this video. You guys smashed those like buttons yesterday. So thank you. I don't think we as YouTubers thank our listeners enough when you guys actually do smash the like button. So thank you for that. I would love another repeat of that today. So please do slap a like on this video and let's get into it. And the reason you guys came here. Big up to everyone in the chat. Ryan, Rich, Starboy, GT. I see you guys. I hope you guys are well. Taib, Omar, I see you. All right. First things first. Well, let's go with the breaking news. The Premier League have extended the season indefinitely. I think everyone was like, indefinitely? I'll be honest. So obviously this kind of coincides with the news that we got 2 days ago, which if you haven't seen the video for, I did a video for that, reaction to it as well. Would appreciate you guys go and watch that because the views weren't too great on that, but admittedly, I did my reaction for that so late, and that was the fact that the Euros were postponed. So it always opened up the option for this. I think a lot of leagues around the world were in favor of the Euros just being moved back, so it allows them to finish their own leagues. It just makes a lot of sense all around. It keeps everybody safe. And it coincides with the fact that they can now do something like this. So what does indefinitely essentially mean? Well, they're determined to finish it whenever, however long it takes. Now, obviously, I think the anticipation is that, we will finish this league, you would imagine, by June, July, something like that. Funny enough, it was one of the things that I did suggest in my Euro video, that I felt like it was most likely that I don't see any football being played in May, to be honest. April for sure, definitely not. And obviously, we now know that won't happen. I'll get to that bit in a second. But I think mid-May is probably looking like a potential restart date, with the view of playing throughout June, potentially throughout July, maybe finishing end of July. You move the start date of the season at least until September, if not mid-September. And that's the way you overcome it. It's not ideal for anyone, but it's a solution. And I think that will happen. But the fact that they've used the word indefinitely shows that they are determined to give Liverpool this title. Listen, they deserve it. They deserve to win it. It is only right that they finish the season. Because I think there are lots of people saying, oh, why don't you just cancel the season? It affects so many more teams than just Liverpool. You got to think about the teams that are at the bottom. You got to think about the teams that are in the championship. You got to think about the teams at the bottom of the championship, and so on throughout the leagues. There's a domino effect. So you can completely understand why they've chosen this, and they've said that we'll finish the season. Don't you worry about that. It's just a case of how we do it. So it's an interesting choice. That announcement also coincided with the fact that they've pushed a potential restart date back to the end of April. I almost guarantee they'll push that back again. But what they've said now is they've gone from April, is it 5th that they were initially going to come back? And they've pushed that back until April 30th now. Again, another thing that you just say, yep, fair enough, completely understandable. What do you want them to do? I think ultimately at the end of the day, you've got to make sure that these guys are safe. You got to make sure that these guys are not jeopardizing potential fans. It'll be interesting to see if they do restart at the end of April, which I don't think will happen. This is just my thing. I personally don't think we're going to be all up and running and everything's going to be hanky dory come end of April. I think they will potentially try out something. In my opinion, end of May, I think is more likely what's going to happen, and that will be behind closed doors. They'll just bang out the season. We play every 3 days, finish the season, give these guys a rest. You move the start of the season to September, mid-September, something like that, and I think it just solves all the issues. So I think for me, that is most likely what's going to happen. But what do you guys think? Are you guys happy with that? Is this something that you think, oh, okay, like what are your kind of thought process on it? Let me know. If you're watching onto the playback, leave it in the comments below. If you're in the chat room, leave it in the chat room. While I'm here, I might as well talk about some Arsenal stuff. Arsenal and Chelsea are back in training today, which is interesting, given that our manager, as we last found out, had the coronavirus. It would be interesting to see who leads training. So for any eagle-eyed people that are looking at training pictures and stuff like that, it'll be interesting to see who leads the training itself. But yeah, the fact that we're back in training shows you that they are preparing at least for the 30th of April restart. But yeah, I think there's no issue with them ticking over. I know that there was a lot of, apparently there was much like a lot of us who are working from home have had to have kit sent to us. In the Arsenal world, same sort of thing. They've had their like bikes and stuff sent to them. So, I think this thing is affecting everybody. And it's just a case of adapting and doing what we can in order to be able to finish the job. From our point of view, I don't know about all this Champions League stuff, but I think Europa League has to be a very fair enough target for us. I know that sounds laughable. I know that will annoy some people, but the reality of our situation is we, at the very least, need to have Europa League money coming in. I know it's sad, and honestly, it makes me my blood itch just thinking about the fact that I'm not talking about the Champions League here, but our season has been disastrous so far. We need to salvage something out of it, and even if it's the Europa League, so be it. So, what do you guys think about that? Leave that in the comments below. Some other tidbits, something that broke last night that I wish I'd saw before recording yesterday afternoon's video. Arsenal are apparently plotting, is the word that was used. They're plotting a Santi Cazorla return, or Cazorla, or Cazorla, as Kenny Ken would say. They're plotting his return for I don't think it would be for next season, but whenever he decides to retire. I don't imagine that will be anytime soon. I think he's pretty much playing for Spain regularly at this point. I think at the very least he's getting into their squad. So from his perspective, he might be thinking, well, I ain't looking to retire anytime soon. But when he was asked about whether he sees himself potentially becoming a coach, he did say that, that he could see it happening. He obviously has a good relationship with Arteta. For those of you that don't remember or don't know, when Arteta was a player, one of the people he was absolutely closest to was Santi Cazorla. So again, it really is about how you think that would work and Do you think that that would work? I think for someone like, if we ended up trying to buy Dani Ceballos, he would be the perfect coach for someone like a Dani Ceballos, you would have thought. I don't know if that deal will happen. Danny almost said on Danny loves his cryptic tweets. He did another one the other day about how he put up his picture about signing for the Arsenal and put up good memories, and everyone took that as, oh, okay, he feels like he's played his last game of the season. Bear in mind, his contract, regardless of what's going on, his contract says end of June, he's out. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens from that point. So, we'll see what happens. Again, what do you think? Would you like to see Santi come back as a coach? Let me know. Leave it in the chat room. Leave it in the comments below. Let's talk about a couple of things I put on the community post. Guys, please do stick a like on this video if you are watching it. I hope you guys are enjoying it. Slap a like. I know I bang on about it. I know it gets on your last nerve, but it does help. It always helps the show get noticed. So please do slap a like on this video. I hope you guys are keeping well and are safe. And let's keep this thing rocking and rolling. Let's talk about David Luiz. This is the story I really hated. Okay, so let's just rip this off like a band-aid. Arsenal, perhaps unsurprisingly, to be fair, are looking to trigger the extension clause to David Luiz's contract that will keep him at the Emirates until 2021. Even I had to be realistic with this. The way Arteta plays David Luiz, you could tell he's absolutely happy with the way he's performing. I expect him to keep William Saliba out of the team next year because that just feels like an Arteta move to me. I don't see what he sees in this guy. I can imagine as a person, he seems like a cool guy. Do you know what? Personally, and as controversially, I wouldn't mind him as a coach, you know. I don't know what he's necessarily teaching these players as a coach because he never used to do that stuff himself. But I can see him being an infectious person in a changing room, someone that people like, someone that people gravitate towards, someone that people listen to. I just don't see a remnants of a defender on the pitch. I see it every 10 games, which I'm sorry. Like, I know we only got him for 8 million. I expect a little bit better than every 10 games. You know, he's had 3 what I would call good games this season. 8 out of 10s this season. And arguably, all of those came consecutively. So, to me, he's not done enough to warrant an extension. If it was me, I would rather keep Socrates than David Luiz. But I think with all these, I think as I expect, I'm expecting Chambers and Holden to leave in the summer. I would have hoped Mustafi would leave in the summer. Now I have my doubts. That I guess if Mustafi also left, you've got to also, I guess, keep someone of experience there. In my world, what I would do, I'd probably get Holding to leave. I'd personally keep Chambers, but you guys know I like Chambers. And I think he's better than Holding. I've always said that. I would let go of David Luiz. I'd keep Socrates, and I'd bring in another defender. That's personally the way I do it. I don't think Arteta's going to do it like that, but we'll see. What do you guys think? Again, leave that in the comments below and let me know what you think. Last story I'm going to talk about before I come into the chat room. This is a story that, to be honest, when I did my video, 2 hours later, this story dropped. So I completely didn't get hold of it. That's, I suppose, the downside of doing these videos as early as this. That's why I like my late night with Chigs, because generally Arsenal stories tend to break at night. So that's the reason I do it. So I almost sacrifice a little bit of views to bring you the exclusive. Now I feel like I'm bringing you recycled stuff. But anyway, because I've been slipping with late night with Chigs lately, that's why I'm trying to do these earlier. But Emil Rodback is a 16-year-old Swedish hot prospect, but apparently he's meant to be a really good player. Like, he's a good marksman. There's no real stats on him that I could find, but supposedly he's meant to be the next big thing. Some people have compared him to Henrik Larsson, but quicker, which sounds ideal. But yeah, he's obviously got a lot of hopes on him. And he obviously came to speak to Arsenal. It is worth bearing in mind, however, that who's the Dortmund striker that is killing it in the moment that everybody wants? He also came to speak to Arsenal. So I wouldn't get necessarily too excited by this. But he's meant to be potentially someone that Arsenal are interested in, and he's interested in the move. Obviously, seen a lot of young people come through the Arsenal academy, do very well, even as recently as this season. Especially with all this talk about Aubameyang, he might fancy his chances, especially with Aubameyang leaving. So you never know. Again, what do you guys think? Leave that in the comments below. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I spoke about Aubameyang leaving yesterday. Not to keep twattling on about that. I think from my perspective, I hope he stays. I would not be devastated if he goes. I have said the same thing for the last year. So I'll continue on that kind of objective. I hope he stays. But if we get anywhere in the region of 50 to 60 million, I'm happy. So let's see what we can do. But let me come into the chat room, see what you lot are saying. Haaland is the guy I was talking about. Yes, you're right. My brain just went. It went. No excuses. It just went. I don't even want European football next season. I could see the logic. Focus on the league. I could see the logic. A PR move, KSC smokescreen, just getting Henry back for a month was, let's admit it. Okay. Louise and his heart attack plays. Exactly. He's more of a reactor to me. I just don't see a remnants of a good defender in that. I don't. And the irony of playing him and Mustafi, and they had one good game and people got carried away. Chig, and then the whole new backup lineup at any price. David, I think you're right. I think, in my personal opinion, I'd love to see my backline, my ideal backline would be Tierney, maybe an Upamecano or Tar, alongside or the West Ham defender, alongside a Saliba or even a Socrates. To be fair, I can understand the sense of playing a young person with experience, because I do think we're putting a lot on Saliba. Like, my man's going to be the ready-made guy. I've watched Saliba play a lot. I think he's a good player. I can absolutely see the potential. I could definitely see the talent, but he's a raw talent. He makes mistakes, and I don't think people quite comprehend that. You know, at times he will piss you off next season, and no doubt you're going to get people, the same people that are writing off Pepe are going to be the same people writing off Saliba, saying he's overrated, yada, yada, yada. So I think let's just pump the brakes a little bit on the hype. I think he's a good player, but I think let's just not put so much on him, you know? And then right back, it would be a Max Aarons or this PSV guy or this PSG guy that we were linked with this time last summer. I'd take anyone. I just want a new right back. So that would be my ideal back four situation. Not much love to Saka. He's not a left back. I'd push him up. But I got a feeling Arteta wants him as a left back. I do rate Max Aarons. I do. I think you guys are putting a lot of faith that he's coming to almost like Upamecano. You lot are setting yourself up for failure. A lot of people want Max Aarons. United want Max Aarons. Spurs want Max Aarons. A lot of people want him. So I think we need a backup plan. I'd also sell Saka, Laka. I would. He's been flirting with Atletico Madrid really since before he came to the club. I say let him move on, collect again if we can get anything close to 50. To be honest, 40, I'd take it, and reinvest that. If you could get 100 million between Uber and Laka, I think you've had a result. You've had a result. Go and reinvest that. I'd give Hector a chance. He's only 23 now. Has to approve or play Hector wide forward. Are we talking about Hector Bellerin? Give him a chance. I'm not going to react until you clarify. Do you mean Hector Bellerin, or are we talking about a next Hector here? Because I'm very. I don't want to be gun happy if you meant someone else. Do you mean Hector Bellerin? I'm about to check something, by the way. I'm not ignoring you guys. One sec. Yeah, I thought so. Are you talking about Hector Bellerin, Marbles? Yeah, Bellerin. Okay, so one thing, he's 25 years old. He's not 23. And to the idea of giving a man a chance that's been here, what, 12 years? No, tell a lie. He came when he was 16, to be fair. 9 years? No. No. Come on. Come. And you know better, Marbles. You know better. Talking about someone that's been here for 9 years. Talking about giving him a chance. 25 years old. Come on now. Stop it. You know better. He's too old to be talking, giving him a chance. He's too old to be using that sort of terminology. Yeah, absolutely. I'm talking about getting rid of Rob Holding and he's 24. Damn right. Especially if there are better options out there. We've been waiting for Hector Bellerin to blossom for years. If you're still waiting, bruh, maybe you don't have it. That's the point I'm making with the 25 years old. Bellerin can dip. Straight, could definitely dip. Definitely dip. 25. That's the thing. I think people still look at Hector as this 19 or 20-year-old right back. He's 25. Oh, man can bounce. But listen, this is just my opinion. I'm trying to learn to be better and not be too forceful on my opinions. All right, guys. Because see, there's not a lot of people watching, so I might as well wrap this up. But I hope you guys have enjoyed it for what it is. Please do stick a like on this video. I know I bang on, but especially because there ain't that many people watching. I think people are still genuinely working. So make sure you hit a like on this video. I'd appreciate if you guys could do that. I'm off to quickly go and grab something to eat before I get back to what I'm doing on the laptop. But I hope you guys are well. Genuinely stay safe out there. I think the intensity of this general message, you know what I'm talking about, I think is only going to increase over this weekend, over the rest of the week, this weekend, and next week. So I hope you guys are well. If we do go into lockdown, don't panic. We won't run out until a blue roll or anything like that. Just do what you got to do, guys. Just do what you got to do. Stay safe, please. Stay safe. And yeah, I'll leave it as that. All right, I'm out of here, people. Take care. Peace.